Communication and undergraduate admissions.
Okay, her experience in planning is actually she was a coordinator and planner for Grove City for about 6 years. She's known by Paul Logue. They met probably interaction in terms of
Floodplain
professional
conferences, I
We had a
think.
floodplain conference, actually.
floodplains, so she knows her floodplains, which we have just a few. Well, and again, Nicholas, his work was taking his time here, so it was time for his renewal, and I said he was going to step down, so welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We're going to keep you in train here for at least 6 years, watch out.
Okay.
You want to say anything?
Well, I'm just really excited about this opportunity to engage with the community at this level. Most of my interactions have been with the university and people related to the university, and as a native of Southern Ohio, I'm excited to have an opportunity to have interactions and have significant relationships with people outside the university as well.
Yeah, and you're alumni of this place at one point, weren't you?
I have a master's degree from Ohio University.
That's what I thought.
I'm currently a student in the doctoral communication studies program.
Okay, see? And most of us are related to the university somehow, being the number one employer. It's unavoidable at times. Then I'll turn it over to you, RJ.
All right. Let's see. Did we establish a quorum?
No, we haven't done
Okay.
word one.
We have established a quorum. And is there anyone in the audience who anticipates speaking before the Planning Commission today?
I represent McDonald's for their.
Okay. Let's see if you just raise your hand and say, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth to the Planning Commission as best you know it? Great. Okay. Thank you very much.
No echo there, huh?
There we go.
It's a Wizard of Oz up there.
That's right. Disposition of minutes. Is there any additions, changes, questions to the last session's minutes?
No, I move we accept the minutes of, October 2nd.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's been unanimously passed. First case is McDonald's, The Plains, Title 41, case number 14-12. When you come to the podium, could you state your name and address or company affiliation?
Chris Jackson with M&M Surveyors and Engineers. We represent McDonald's for their lot split.
And could you briefly explain to our television audience what it is that you're requesting?
Sure. The McDonald's on North Plains Road, it's actually outside of the city limits, but within your governance, is currently a leased parcel. They are looking to purchase their leased parcel from their landlords. So that is really the only change in what we're hoping to establish is their property boundary lines rather than a lease line.
Okay.
Questions? Why is this a Title 41? Any particular reason?
It's a typo.
It's a typo.
It's a typo, okay.
It's
I was just wondering, that's
Title
all.
21.
It's a lot split.
You're off to the left
Yeah.
now, then. Okay.
Okay, so it's a minor subdivision. And if I remember, this would be serviced by the Plains sewer system? Okay, so it doesn't have to worry about leach beds, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
And it really is, there's no variances required. Is that what I'm saying?
The only concern that we had was the access to the property. I guess technically they may have to go through city council because it does have an access easement. The property does not have direct access to it, as you can see on the site plan that they submitted. They have given me all the information and documentation to show that there is an access easement through the, I guess you call it the residual property, to this property. Much has been occurring for all these years since McDonald's has been there. But now, since it is a private lot, it would need this to be recorded as such. So,
But it does have, it is contiguous with, that's 682, right?
correct.
Okay, so really what you're talking about, the difference is not so much the lack of access, but not a curb cut.
Well, right now they enter it through, if the access is on the northernmost part of the property, which you can see is also the entrance into, is it Food Liners back there or Food Land?
Yeah, Foodland,
Yeah, Food Land's back there.
C&E.
So, right.
What about the egress, though, this outside the drive-through line?
They do have egress, but it's one way out.
Okay,
So it's documented in here, that all these here are the, in the memorandum of the lease, you can see in the statements, I believe it was 5, 6, and 7. And then if you go to statement 8, if the tenant acquires fee title of the premises under the terms of the lease, the easements conveyed in paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 above shall be perpetual to the property. I do not know if that is recorded.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is recorded, yes. So
Yeah,
It's got an instrument
it's
number on page
already-
1.
So I guess I don't know if it really even needs city council because it's already recorded access easement.
Yeah.
So, but the lot before was a leased lot, now it's a purchase lot. It's going to be its own parcel. So,
But that easement is not needed to physically access the new parcel. The parcel has road frontage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That would be the key question
Yeah.
as to whether it needs to go through council. Is it an easement because it's a landlocked piece of real estate?
right,
This
that's
would not
typically
be.
the times we take it through council if it's a landlocked parcel that needs the access easement to get to it. That's not the case here.
Right.
So,
Well, my concern was that, ODOT went through and improved that roadway and worked very diligently with property owners in order to have a line, so we didn't have, an insane number of curb cuts up there.
right. So that's why I'm kind of thinking this does not need
Nothing's changing.
nothing's changing. It's all existing. All they're doing is taking what was a leased, kind of as an example here in town, if one of our outbuildings, Texas Roadhouse, all of a sudden was to break off and become its own parcel separate from the mall, everything would be existing. Right now, they currently have a leased area that they lease off of the larger project. And so therefore, that would be just taking that leased area and defining it as its own parcel and breaking it off, and now it's under different ownership. Am I correct, Chris?
Correct. Yeah, there's no improvements or changes to the site plan right now.
The example you give, though, is a little bit different. One is that the Texas Roadhouse would actually not have a boundary on East State Street, as far as I know. I think that's, as far as I know, that outlot is buried, embedded in.
But it could if they came all the way out to the street. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if they had surveyed it. such.
Right,
Okay.
correct.
So, from my point of view, it's, they could drive over the curb, and this is not a limited access highway by any means.
I guess another way to look at it would be like Tim Hortons. We just did that one. And it too did not have direct entrance into its property. It came in through a common property first
Yeah.
and then access into their property.
But this question would arise if they decide to break off.
If they decide to break
Then at that
off,
point
yes.
is where are the lot lines?
Correct,
Where they actually abut and contiguous with East State Street.
correct.
Okay.
the one egress only, is that on the property that would break away?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in theory, they could just expand that into an ingress egress, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, other?
I don't understand how the common area easement could transfer when it's under a lease. I mean, I'm not a lawyer.
It says permanent easement, number 8, page 2.
8 covers everything else.
If the tenant acquires fee title to the premises under the terms of the lease, the easements conveyed in paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 above shall be perpetual. And that's a recorded document.
In as much as it's a lease, could we possibly ask them to put it on the deed, a reference to that lease? Would that be unheard of?
That's, you're asking legal questions. I mean, it
Well,
sounds
no,
to
I
me like,
mean, you can put an addenda on there, too.
I mean, but it sounds like since it's already recorded,
But,
recorded with the deed. And we can talk about that. If you want to say condition of, we can look into that and say
as long as it doesn't cost a bundle of money. I
right,
think
that this
we
lease
can
needs to
prove
be attached to the deed with the property, and I believe it probably is, if they're
Yeah.
purchasing the property.
it. People often just kind of focus on it. If they were looking at it.
But the bottom line is, it's not a landlocked parcel, so therefore it does not need a variance for access easement access. I would say that backwards. Because it does have access to 682. They just choose to create their entrance off of another parcel that they have recorded, allowed to do so.
Okay, so the packet that we've been given here, of course, is the application for minor subdivision. title survey, it looks like, and with the map. And then the lease is from 2002, it looks like, with, as you say, the easements, and then it's like acknowledgement of partnership, probably with the, I guess, whatever they call it, that mall in 2002. So they will have to draw up. There's not an actual deed put together until this is approved. Is that what I'm looking at here? Well, these predated, so there will be another deed written up for the split. Okay, and that's where the opportunity to put the reference to easements from this particular document. Okay.
Right.
Does that cover what you're thinking?
Yeah,
Okay.
a good point.
Well, no, I mean, that's all, it has to be done in the future, but as long as it's got to be written up,
New deed needs to
we have time to say this has to
The
reference.
easement
Yep.
document,
It
particular
won't
lease.
cost
the
any
lease
additional.
document.
Do you have a deed drawn up for this?
It has not been created yet.
Okay,
They wanted to make sure that they had approval before.
so
they
we
went
can just
ahead
make
and-
sure that those 5, 6, 7, and 8 are included in the deed.
Sure, and I would say from other sites that we've done with McDonald's, they're very good about making sure that their easements are covered in their documents. They don't want to get excluded from it.
Yes, when you say other documents, my inquisitive mind thinks, is this a trend that's going on with McDonald's, or what's the push for doing this, I
We
guess?
work with McDonald's across 7 states as their surveyors, so.
I see.
We work with their legal team, and they're pretty good about keeping track of their easements.
Okay.
So we're asking for a lot split approval,
Yeah, so I need a motion, I guess, right?
okay? I guess the motion would be for lot split approval pending the easement. Are we going to ask for that, or just,
Just that the easements, in paragraphs 5, 6, 7, and 8 are included with the deed when it is drawn up and at the time it's submitted to the county auditors.
Is the permit number correct as written?
I'm sorry,
The permit number is correct as written, is that right?
permit number?
The one on your form, on your
Yes.
application form?
Case number is different than permit number. It's just coincidental that they're almost the same, if that's what you're asking me.
We were looking for a way to make a
Identify it.
motion.
Gotcha.
there would be a motion asking for approval of the lot split pending the addition of clauses 5 through 8 to be included in the revised deed,
Or reference.
or referenced in the revised deed.
We recommend it, right?
Yeah, you want the motion? I'll make the motion, I guess.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, great.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
There you go. That was easy.
Next is the case number 14-13, Sprint parking garage, Title 43 wireless permit.
They are not here, and that may be my fault. They tried to call me yesterday afternoon, and then I just checked my voicemail when we got back and saw that they called, so.
Were they aware of the meeting, though?
They were aware of the meeting.
Okay.
Yes. I can tell you, if you look at my drawings, and I have no problem with tabling this, because they're going to be a little ways out before they can do this anyways, because one of the requirements that I am making of this permit, is they fulfill their obligations from their previous permits, and that includes putting down the rubber membranes underneath the antennas. And they're well aware of this, and they have asked that they still come through as a 3-part permit process. They actually have one for the tower modification, they have one for the wiring and the boxes in the building, and they have another one for the actual antennas that are on it. And, I asked them before if they wanted to group this all under one permit, and they say, no, we want to keep them as 3 different permits and keep things separated. So this in here is a modification for some of the antenna that are going on what will be the new tower that we've been in contact with, got an engineer report from Burgess and Nyepel, our city contractor with them to review their drawings, and they're aware of what they have to do on permits that were granted back in, and I got them all with me here. They've received 3 previous permits, 2 of them in August of last year and 1 in December of last year. So until those permits are completed as to the way we wanted it, then I don't have a problem with this one. It meets all of our code, but I have noted, if you note, I think you got a copy of it there, that it's okay per Title 43 per completion of work on roof from previous permit. So whether you want to table it now, I'm not going to represent them. That's up to you. Or if you want to go ahead and approve it and based on that, and I'll let them know. It's up to you guys.
So if I remember, the conversation was we need to get the roof weatherproofed.
The current rubber membrane, I believe, I know, has some slight tears in it from the existing towers. And since they're going to be modifying that with these previous permits, our engineers have requested and they're required that before they do that work, that rubber membranes on top of those where those towers are sitting across the street are taken care of and repaired first. So no sense putting these towers or these new antennas on those towers if they don't fix the towers and the roof under it first.
Okay.
And I believe there's going to be required, as a matter of fact, I know there's going to be required some additional structural members that need to go into the roof on the underneath of these towers as well. So those things need to be done first. And I do know that our Lands and Buildings Department is working with Sprint, and they are proceeding forward, and I believe we're going to be doing that, but I do not know the timeline. Paula, have you talked to George about it?
It wouldn't be our staff.
I'm sorry?
Are you saying that our staff might?
No, but George is going to arrange, as always, time for him to get in and do this and that. I didn't know if he said anything to you. He hasn't said anything to me yet. So,
No, but based on this information, I would move to table until we
fine by me.
get a clearer
That was a
picture.
quick first and second. Right?
And you would prefer to have a Sprint representative here to talk with, so.
Yes.
Guess
To
we'll-
make sure they understand, and to also make sure they understand that they have some obligations to us.
So we'll go ahead and table that for the time being.
Is that a vote?
I move, she second.
Is there a second?
I second
Okay.
it.
This has been seconded. All in favor of tabling this, let's see, case number 14-13?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous.
Yeah, there you go.
Next is communications. Is there anything that anybody would like to bring in here this time?
I would like to suggest that I was way off base about having our corridor things ready to go to council on at the end of December. Talk about foolish. It was not, we won't be ready, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
How do we want to propose then, I guess, to structure getting this all organized, and then if a final discussion is necessary here and before that's passed on to,
Yeah. It's not a council that will change, so, I mean, they have another year, so it's not an issue there. But
is it something that we want to work with Shar on then in terms of just
I was
collating the
thinking same.
material
Yeah,
that
a summary, that would, outlining each corridor and.
we can do a review of that?
Can you,
maybe the planner could pass over it, and John?
we'd be
Yeah.
happy to. Did we, just to make sure, what the planning commissioners did was they analyzed the corridors based on the corridors that were identified in the comprehensive plan, is that correct? Okay, so if we're taking it to council, I think what the five of you would be doing would be for those sections of the plan, you'd be bringing forward that to ask council to adopt, to update portions of our existing comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
I
And
believe
also-
that's the process we would be approaching. Am I correct?
Yes, and I hope we do the zoning code as well,
Okay.
Right,
because
so-
that's the thing that people look at first.
So when we do the review, then basically I think we're also formalizing what we're going to
I
request
think so, right.
of the council.
Right.
Maybe we could make it.
And so the commissioners, the five of you would have to vote to recommend that those sections of the plan be updated. And then forward that to council. Now, you're saying also, Nancy, you're
No,
maybe,
no. No,
maybe
I mean,
make
I-
a zoning map recommendations at the same time, or?
No, I was
Okay.
thinking we were giving zoning recommendations instead of revising the plan. I got this out of reading the minutes.
Okay.
I read the minutes of last meeting, and I thought, oh, goodness.
Well, you could look at, I mean, that could be the recommendation is to update those sections of the plan, and this is the recommended zoning map.
And we could even give them some information, couldn't we?
Well, and all those things came out of our discussions with the B zone. So, I mean, at the same time, are we kind of trying to tie that up as well?
Well,
Or do we need more review of?
Let's see if we can get it all in a package. I don't see us actually having concrete recommendations for rezoning the corridors. I mean, I know we've recognized the B3's issues. The B3 flavors have to be modified for each corridor, but how to go about doing that, I don't think there was a consensus on what we were looking at. And I know it dragged out over a good, year and a half or something.
If we go to zoning changes, then we go through the whole public hearing process here as planning commission prior to getting a city council. So are we separating them, I guess is the question, even though there will be recommendations, I assume, after the review to maybe modify some of the zones in the existing corridors. Well, and I still have the manufacturing issue myself, so.
I think that Paul recommended that in a way, didn't he? That we would, no, he didn't recommend it, but it was his understanding that we would do the plan first and then the zoning changes second, right? That's what I heard.
Just as long as we can move it along, is what you want.
Well, yeah, I know.
Would you want to do a public hearing at the planning commission level?
Yes, definitely.
Once we have something.
We've been working on this for at least 2 years, maybe.
I saw minutes from the planning commission meeting from 5.5 years ago.
With excuses.
5.5. We've been doing this for
Something
5
was
years.
really good. They're going to take care of it.
We're closer than ever, though.
I don't think it'll be that easy, frankly.
No.
I'll try to sit down with Shar when she has some time available, maybe at the end of the month here, and just see where she's at, and then,
So we can pull it all together and see what it looks like.
right, and then we can start to go from there. Would that be okay, Shar? Just at your convenience there.
Okay.
And this is something ideally we'd like to have wrapped up in 2014, like as far as packaged to council, or into 2015, okay?
I would be into 2015, I think.
Okay.
I hate to add another half year to it.
I guess we'd have a maximum of, 3 meetings between now and January? Okay.
Yeah.
Provided there's no other cases.
Right.
You're going to have, I can get ahead of myself there.
That's what we're going to have, and maybe we'll be able to.
They're making a submit, or they being Rivergate, is making their submittal to us a week from tomorrow to be on the December, whatever that first Thursday in December is, agenda. So that'll be probably a little lengthy Title 41 review on that one. So
And they got their variance from,
they did receive their variance, and I have requested, because of the scope of the project, that they get it in and give us adequate time, especially with Thanksgiving falling in there, being off a couple of days, that we have adequate time to review it. And some other issues that we want to clean up, and we talked this morning, had a little bit of meeting with High University about some things, and that's one of the things we're going to discuss with them. Andy and I have made some arrangements to sit down and talk to them about streets and infrastructure, et cetera.
has this New Life Assembly Church actually changed hands already?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to know the status of it. It's already moved, okay.
Yes, it is, and it has been purchased by the Rivergate folks.
Is there a zoning suit? Is there a suit contesting
There
the zoning
is,
board's action?
But right now, there's no standing, so they can move forward until judge says otherwise. No, I shouldn't say it that way. A judge hasn't said.
I know what that means, but I was wondering if you heard
A
that.
judge hasn't come out and said you have to stop. So,
Oh, okay.
I haven't asked for an injunction, I guess.
I have to correct something. I voted on the minutes. I was not present last meeting, so I have to abstain. I was wondering while I was reading them that I didn't.
Oh, yeah, you're gone. How about that?
Are there any other items for communication?
Not that I can think of.
Why don't we move on to our reports from city planner?
I have I think, one real item. We had, the city's Environment Sustainability Commission has been working on organizing a sustainability plan. And a few weeks ago, they had a public workshop, a brainstorming session. It was very well attended. I think we had 70 or 80 folks attend. I think, Paula, you were there, I believe. What we did at that session, and I'll distribute the preliminary findings. This is all still in very raw I have to explain it because it's overwhelming at first glance.
And big.
What we did at that meeting, we had, the commission broke down a series of different topics that they thought needed to be focused on for the plan. And those are the top left-hand corner of each page in the red.
This is transportation.
Transportation, then housing and development, our waste system, local economy, energy, air, food, water, and then they had a catch-all category of what's missing or what else needs to be included, something like that. From there, we did a series of brainstorming using round tables. I think they broke it down to like 6 or 7 people per table with one facilitator. And they would go around the table and people would give an idea of something relating to transportation, what should be a part of a plan or what would be a strategy towards a sustainable transportation system. And basically each line on here is a different idea that was gathered at the meeting.
And the ones, the bold, bright yellows are the main topics? Yellows
Yeah,
are
that's kind of
subtopics.
the main theme. And then if there were similar themes that were brought up by other people at the tables, we tried to pull them all together to make a little bit more sense of what we were seeing. And then we took all of that information, and all of the attendees had the opportunity to vote on 10 of the things that they thought were the most important to focus on. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you're seeing in the green column, are votes.
Looks like the range is 17's a high one here, right? Stormwater runoff mitigation,
Right.
17.
So there should be 700 votes on here, if there were 70 people there.
More or less. I'd have to double check how many people we had. Possible that some people did not vote because they might have been members of the Sustainability Commission. They may have been helping, they may have signed in but didn't actually participate in the roundtable.
And the voting is at the end, and you know how people
green
sometimes will just
Right.
leave.
Some people may have left
Copy of
early,
these and
yeah.
left.
Again, I'm just giving this information out early, but as you can see, there are some key issues that really rose. There's also some of the issues that didn't necessarily rise. I think there's really interesting ideas in there of things that maybe the Sustainability Commission will want to explore or look into a little bit more to see if that's worth including in a plan. There's also, I think, things that we've been working on as a city and as a county and trying to achieve that are still mentioning as being very important. Recycling, of course, composting, bicycle issues, transit issues, things of that nature that we are trying to achieve and that we have been working on. There's probably some things in here that energy also, of course, there's some big issues there that with the energy aggregation, the city and county have been working on too. So I think what we're going to do next, the commission met on Tuesday to talk about some of this. We have a work session scheduled for in a couple more weeks. I think we're going to try to do some sort of online surveying to get a little bit more information on some of the key topics that were brought forward in here. And then as a commission, they're going to discuss what they think should be the priorities and what to focus on, and we're going to start working on it from there. Hopefully we'll have a finished plan or a draft plan wrapped up mid to late mid 2015. So June, July, August, somewhere in that time frame.
Okay. So some of the high ones, of course, is more increased bike lanes, public roads. I see that's a big subdivision
Right.
right there. More efficient bus system, had 5, but that's kind of the low ones. 8, bicycle checkout stations. And I think the highest one was the stormwater runoff at that point. Zero waste program, 8. Ban plastic bags, 10. 11 is barter and trade. Interesting one there. Buy local
Well,
7.
it's good to know stormwater runoff was number one, and I think.
It is.
we're Way ahead of the curve on that one. right
That's
now.
what I think. Part of it is maybe just not knowledge. What we're doing, so.
Okay. Is this a spreadsheet format you have here?
It is,
Okay.
yeah. It took hours to write, I'll say that too.
Yeah.
The sign-
Hours, days,
That's what you've
probably.
been doing in here.
the
That's what that
sign,
poster board
thing in your
was about.
printer also.
What's that?
I just was commenting on how much yellow there is.
It's a lot.
That's the only cartridge you had left.
Do you have any idea how many people were actually just old citizens that didn't come from outside thinking they could help Athens do better? And, and how many were people that had an agenda?
You're not a city council member. You don't count city lines anymore here.
Well, I mean, I think that there's a lot of people that are willing to say, well, you should do that and you should do that, and I don't really know if they know what it means. Was it the
I'm not
same?
exactly sure how to answer that question. There was a very broad spectrum of our community in the room. I will say that. There were a lot of faces that I expected to see there that were not there. There was a lot of faces I did not recognize. It was a very energetic room. I've said more than once, I think now, that of all the planning meetings I've been involved with since I've been with the city, that was probably the best meeting. Like, just as an hour and a half of people really coming together and talking about issues and staying on track and on subject and getting a lot of data from it. From that perspective, I thought it worked really well. There were some students there, which I thought was really encouraging too. A lot of our meetings, we don't get students. They are 4 out of every 5 residences, between 18 and 26, and we rarely even pull them into our planning and our discussions. So I thought that was really encouraging. Overall, I think it went really well, and there's a lot of really good ideas, and I think a lot of this is reasonable stuff to focus on too. There's, you've got a bell curve there. There's definitely some outliers in these ideas, but when you look around the mean, and you're talking about transit, and it's improving our bus system, and it's providing for alternatives to single-use or single vehicles and things of that nature, and same with our waste system. A lot of it's common sense stuff. It's finding ways to recycle more, and single use or mix single stream recycling and composting were the 2 big ones. Those are things we actually can focus on. Is how I look at it. Yeah.
In the solid waste plan. I mean, some part of it.
Right. Well, a lot, and this also should be adding some encouragement to the solid waste plan and the zero waste projects that are going on. So.
Good, thanks. Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
John?
He did spend a lot of time. Is that what you had laying out on your desk?
Yeah, that's-
Okay, I saw him doing
It was
that.
days. It was days of my life.
The only thing I'd like to mention is a reminder to everyone that the BZA meeting next week will be removed from normal Tuesday evenings to Wednesday due to the Veterans Day on Tuesday and the city offices being closed. We do have one case, I guess really it's not even a case, it's a conditional use permit for at 469 Richland Avenue for a bed and breakfast. It's in the old United Appeals building, and property owner lives next door and bought the house and wishes to turn it into a bed and breakfast, and it does meet our code, although it does require a conditional use permit from the Board of Zoning Appeals. So it's one of the few areas in town then within our code that bed and breakfasts are permitted. So we'll see what happens.
And bed and breakfasts are really only allowed in B3 zones?
They're it's not even specified that. It's stacked and through our code as to how it works, and there's just 3 or 4 different streets that it says in this area they're permitted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on these certain streets, and this is one of them that it is allowable, provided it meets the conditional uses. The conditional use is just 3 parts. 1, that it's in character of the neighborhood. 2, that it has egress and ingress, and 3 is it's a permissible use. So.
Covers it all.
Yeah, so it should be okay. But that's the only case we have on the agenda next Wednesday evening.
Okay. In terms of trying to do an orientation for zoning board of appeals, I know we bring it up every once in a while. Is there any
I met with the law director's office last week in regards to something else, but as I was talking to them, they were 100% in favor of us doing like you and I talked, of finding an outside company to come in. It's going to cost a little money, but I'll start looking into that. I met a company years ago when I went to a planning meeting. I do not have that information anymore, but I'm sure I can get online and find somebody and start searching around.
Yeah, there's probably a couple law offices that could do it too, I know.
Mhm.
I've
Yes.
I've sat through a couple seminars with, what's it, Bricker Eckler? They've got
Yeah.
some people on, who are, they're trying to cover this area. They're actually kind of moving into this territory, as it looks like, but they seem to have a depth of, at least in terms of,
We have a new planning commission member might be able to do it.
I don't know if we want to.
I defer to our law director and things like that.
There you go. Put you on the spot.
Yeah,
I could probably introduce you to an attorney or two.
we're going to talk about that. So.
He knows attorneys quite well.
Yeah. No, we're well. The only other thing I have is if you want to hang on to those, because the wireless telecommunication package was rather large, so if you want me to take them back, and I'll just hold on to them and give them back to you, and when they do come back, or you guys want to keep them, it's up to you.
I'll give them to you so I don't lose them in my
That's
desk.
fine.
How's that sound?
Anything else, John?
No.
Okay. Opportunity for citizens to speak. Did you care to address the board? If you do, please state your name when you get to the podium and your address, please.
Thank you. I want to appreciate the fact that I can come and speak to you. I'm Karen Pulaski with Buckeye Hills Hocking Valley Regional Development District, and I am part of a 2-year pilot program through ODOT that is trying to create a regional transportation planning organization. And if you're familiar with municipal planning organizations, MPOs, as they're frequently called, we're trying to do the same things for the rural areas now. We're in our 2nd year of the pilot program, and we have learned that they are going to extend the program, so we will actually have an RTPO Athens is involved with. I'm coming here today just to tell you a little bit about our program, but also to find out we're in the process of creating our transportation plan, and part of that is future conditions. We've already finished our existing conditions, so now we're looking at what's going to happen in the future. So working with planning commissions, zoning commissions, trying to find out what plans they have for their communities. And it's very important that we get local input on this. As I said earlier, prior to the meeting beginning, I wish more counties were like and more cities were like Athens, because I've been able to learn a lot just from what you guys already have on the web. So if we can get our other counties and communities to be as proactive, that would be wonderful. But what we'll be doing is sending out a survey, and a lot of the information I can probably just get from Paul as well, but sending out a survey to the locals, officials, to find out what your needs are and how transportation goes into those needs for all of your future conditions. So I'm here to learn, and I've really enjoyed. Expect to be on TV today, but that's okay.
That's how we run things here.
That's all right. You know, you never know in Athens. So,
Yeah.
Is there anything questions that you have for me about the program or anything else? I will say that the mayor is on one of my committees. He's on the Citizens Advisory Committee, and he's been an excellent resource for us.
And
So
Andy's
thank
on
you
the
for your
Andy
service.
Stone is on the technical,
Yes, and
Committee.
Andy is on the Technical Advisory Committee.
and Jennifer Cochran as city council member is also on the citizen advisory. I think Lance is there too. Is he technical?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Lance
Yes.
rep. So we've got a good representation on the planning board, so to speak, or the various commissions.
Exactly.
Lenny is too. Lenny Lyson, I believe, is.
Well, he's on the
executive-
executive board.
Yeah, and that was
He's on
me too.
Buckeye
I
Hills
got two
Executive
no's.
Board.
Yeah.
So, but this incorporates all modes. So this is not just highways and bridges. We're talking about all modes of transportation, again, which I have to take my hat off to Athens County and Athens City because they incorporate all the modes, most of them. We don't have rail coming through here, but
Yeah.
the maritime.
The weak points, what I see, of course, is the river, the rails, and the airports. I think you have representation from the Wood County Airport, is it?
Yes.
But rail is kind of a void, and of course the river, is being the Ohio, is the major one. I don't know if we've got anybody representing them at all.
We do. Unfortunately, that it seems like every time the meetings happen, they also have other prior commitments. So I did go to the Ohio Planning Conference that ODOT held this summer, and got the opportunity to talk to somebody from Chicago. And when they heard about our region having rail, air, maritime, and highways with the interstate and the U.S. routes, she said that's the perfect coming together to create wonderful transportation opportunities. So,
And I'm on the, Paul Logue, my planner, and myself are both represent, and Nancy too, Regional Planning Commission, Athens County Regional Planning Commission. So
okay, good.
if there's information that needs to be spilled out to them, we could do that.
All
They
right,
have
I
monthly
appreciate
meetings as
that.
well. Okay.
And I'll get those surveys to you probably the first of next week.
Is that a paper survey?
You can email. I'll email it, and you can
Okay.
send it back.
We did spend this morning with a high university consultants who they've selected for their campus master plan.
They did.
So I think
Good.
that this, it's all, like you say, kind of coming together at a really good time.
Yes.
In terms of future planning. So.
Well, I tell you, MAP 21, which is the federal transportation law, really emphasized local input. As Brett Alphen, my supervisor, likes to say, sometimes in our region, transportation happened to folks and not with folks. And that's what, as a regional transportation planning organization, we hope to eliminate that. That the local input is important, and that their decisions are based on what's best for the locals.
Any other questions? Great,
Thank you very
much.
Thank you.